With over 20 years of experience as a physician, entrepreneur, former CEO of a medical healthcare system, and author, I am passionate about leveraging AI to transform healthcare delivery and outcomes as a strategic advisor of ChatGPT in healthcare. I work with healthcare professionals and AI developers to create and implement AI adoption plans, identify innovative AI applications, and drive the integration of AI solutions. I aim to bridge the gap between AI technology, healthcare services, and strategic decision-making. I focus on ensuring the alignment of AI with clinical needs, data integrity, technological compatibility, and staff training. I also share my insights and vision through my books, publications, and public speaking engagements to increase awareness and inspire action on AI's transformative potential. Check out my AI and healthcare podcast called the GPT Podcast. Check out my books on AI, healthcare, and entrepreneurship on Amazon.com. Please follow me on social media under @HarveyCastromed. I am on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for watching. I had the honor to share the stage with Sofia at HIMSS. Let me introduce to you, Sofia Marta is the country manager for Google Cloud in Portugal, in charge of leading the business activities and growth in the market. Sofia has over 20 years of experience in consulting and technology businesses developed in different organizations. She started her career at Accenture looking after the public sector modernization, a company she rejoined a few years later as vice president, responsible for reactivating health and public service practice in Portugal. In the meantime, she worked at Glint, a Portuguese enterprise in the health industry, as head of national and international smart processes business and at Microsoft Portugal. Sofia graduated in scientific mathematics from Lisbon University and post-graduated in e-business at ISEG. She is 44 years old, and married with 2 daughters. Help me give her a warm welcome to our talk today on AI and healthcare.
All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to get off the stage right away and let Sofia start. So I wanted to personally say thank you so much for your time. And hey, thank you everyone for coming. So I can't wait to watch this presentation. So I'm going to put.
Thank you so much, Harvey, for inviting me to be here and to be able to share this AI and healthcare innovation space and the Google Cloud perspective on this. So I would like to start with a quote from our CEO, Sundar. Well, at Google, we are really focused on making tomorrow better than today. And for that, we really invest a lot on healthcare. So healthcare is really a major area of focus for Google. And for example, during the pandemic, I can share with you that Google invested more than $150 million to support COVID vaccine education and distribution efforts. Also followed by another $250 million in ad grants to the government to fund vaccine-related public service announcements. So a lot of investments. And if you look to the Alphabet group, you can see healthcare across the whole group. So we have been creating and adding new companies related to healthcare, like Verily, that is focused on precision medicine. We have Calico, that is more focused on the longevity research. So we seek to answer the most challenging biological questions of our time, how people can live longer, healthier lives. We have Fitbit on the more smartwatch company related also to healthcare. Also, we have invented AlphaFold with DeepMind, that is a software to predict the 3D model of a protein. So a lot of examples that you can see. So what is Google Health? Because in fact, inside the Alphabet group, we have what we call Google Health. And what is this? Actually is a cross-company effort to help billions of people to be healthier. So this isn't a single product area or focus. It's really a true company-wide initiative that uses our strengths and expertise to help people live healthier lives. But we are here today to look into AI. And that's why I would like to start just telling you a little bit of our history here in the AI journey. So let me start for saying that Google is a pioneer in AI. In fact, since 2017, Google has been working in several areas related to AI. And in 2017, Google invents the transformers, kickstarting the large language models that we are hearing all over. So LLMs, more known like LLMs. Actually, the T on the GPT stands for the generative pre-trained transformer. So that's where the T comes from. Since 2017, we have assisted to a model evolution. So we have been from BERT to Lambda, Palm, now Palm 2, recently released, and always with a very, very open to the ecosystem and sharing knowledge and contributing to the scientific ecosystem. In fact, Google counts with more than 3,000 researchers and has contributed with more than 10,000 publications. So really, this AI journey is framed in Google, taking in consideration what we call the responsible AI principles, that are a set of guidelines that guide the company's development and use of artificial intelligence. And these principles are designed to ensure that AI is used in a way that is safe, responsible, and socially beneficial. So this journey really needs to be bold, but also responsible. That's one of the things that I always like to remind when we are talking about AI. Other thing that is really important to clarify is the way that we approach consumer side and the enterprise side. So really, these consumers and enterprises have different needs, and so we propose to have different approaches. So we have BARD for the consumers. For example, if you want to plan a 3-day trip to Portugal, you can use for that BARD. But if you want to use, like if you want to know how to integrate data and applications, for example, to have more better customer experience, then you should use our solution tagged to the enterprise business. So it's called the Vertex AI. With this approach, Google ensures that all of your data is governed to prevent IP leakage and infringement, of course, and that results are grounded in factuality. That is really, really important. We have been assisting also to some challenges, I would say. So it's really important that we take these kind of things in consideration. So with this, we allow organizations to integrate into their existing user security, their data management, and manage their data and models together with this new AI framework. So we have this latest LLM that we call Palm, and based, actually now Palm 2, but based on Palm, we specifically addressed it for the healthcare space. So Google developed the MedPalm 2, the MedPalm in 2022, and it was designed to provide high quality answers to medical questions. So more recently, we released the Palm 2 and then the MedPalm 2 that we will be talking a little bit on specific examples after this. And we have also been working in different flavors. Actually, some curiosities, this Palm 2 is really smaller than the Palm. And we have been also working on the infrastructure and everything that is behind this new technology, right? Because we need to look to all the things related to sustainability, and we need to address really the complexity and the dimension of these LLMs, matching them to what we want to figure out. So what is the solution, and use the right LLM to tackle the right problem. So we have different flavors, like you can see, we have gecko, otter, bison, unicorn. So we want to have this new technology running on this kind of stuff. So we really need to use different flavors of complexity and dimension, because bigger is not always better. And other thing that I would like to highlight is that we have been hearing mostly about the text mode, so a lot of things about chatbots, but in fact the future of this generative AI is multimodal. So we can generate audio, images, video. So the reality in practice in medicine is really multimodal. So it incorporates information from images, electronic health records, sensors, wearables, genomics, and much more. So this generative AI with this multimodal approach will for sure help us to address much more the context that we have in medicine. Another curiosity that I would like to share with you is that MedPalm was the first AI system to surpass the pass mark on the US medical licensing exam. So it's an exam with open questions, like probably you know. And more recently, with MedPalm 2, we announced that we reached an accuracy of 85.4% on this exam. So it's really, really awesome, really amazing what we are being able to do with this new technology. We are now testing this with a few set medical institutions to make sure that we are building a solution that is safe and responsible again. In the coming months, so MedPalm 2 will also be made available to a select group of Google Cloud customers, well, for limited testing and to explore use cases and share feedback as we investigate safe and responsible and meaningful ways to use this technology. So in partnership with the healthcare organizations globally, we are researching robust new AI-enabled tools focused on diagnostic to assist clinicians. So you have here some of examples, and drawing from diverse data sets, high quality labels, and state-of-the-art deep learning techniques, we are developing AI models that we hope will eventually support medical specialists in diagnosing disease, increase accessibility, and help more patients receive timely and accurate diagnosis and care. So going a bit deeper on the mammography example, we know that breast cancer is the most common form of cancer that impacts women. However, women with breast cancer detected during screening have a much higher chance of long-term survival, right? So a challenge standing in the way of screening in the availability of specialist staff that can review scans. So we have really a challenge on that because we have really few people with ability to do this. So using AI and technology may help expand access to breast cancer screening worldwide. So a really, really amazing thing is that we've recently released research that shows that our technology has radiologists in detecting breast cancer in screenings. So we are partnering again with other institutions like NHS, Imperial College London, Northwestern, and others to test how this technology really can help to expand this access to this screening worldwide. So I wanted to share also some real practical examples where AI can help, and there's a bunch of them. So from one side, I think we can use this technology for the admin tasks. So for example, we can automate the process of generating prior authorizations, draft submission letters for procedures, medication, or medical device approvals, or any other stuff that you can imagine. So with this, we can increase time with patients, we can speed to patient care, and of course, reduce the burnout. Another example that is really impactful also, this more on the customer experience side, is the digital concierge. So we can have a digital concierge that can assist patients in explanation of plans, of benefits. We can connect with doctors, we can book appointments, we can enhance consumer access to services in a much more simplified language. So we can do it by voice, we can do it by text. So it would be, or it is, I would say, because it's really right now already a reality that we can use. It is real simple to be impactful with our customers on the healthcare side. So patients can have a much better experience with this kind of technology. Also on the life science research, or more on the research part, we can also apply this new technology. So, for example, we can automate the generation of a clinical study report based on very different and disparate data sources. But really, we are really scratching the surface at this moment. So there's so many use cases that we can think and that we can use this, that I would say we can use our imagination. So to clinician and care team support on reducing paperwork, supporting clinical care, on the research and development side, even to policymakers on the educational content, for example. We can also explore health AI applications outside the clinic, from individuals to population-wide, for example, more examples that impact some specific communities, and this kind of approach. So I would say that we have really a bunch of new examples in front of us that we can explore in this healthcare space with AI. And I would like to also share with you a video.
We believe large language models have the potential to revolutionize healthcare and benefit society. MedPalm is a large language model that we've taken and tuned for the medical domain.
Medical question answering has been a research grand challenge for several decades, but till date the progress has been kind of slow. But then over the course of the last 3 to 4 months, first with MedPalm and MedPalm 2, we have kind of broken through that barrier.
Unlike previous versions, MedPalm 2 was able to score 85% on the USMLE medical licensing exam.
Yeah, this is immensely exciting because people have been working on medical question answering for over 3 decades. And finally, we are at a stage where we can say with confidence that AI systems can now at least answer USMLE questions as good as experts.
So the way we started with MedPalm 2 was really to take Palm 2, which is Google's most advanced language model, and then adapt it to the medical domain. To train the MedPalm 2 model, we worked with a panel of clinicians across the US, the UK, and India. we took a representative set of answers from this panel of clinicians and then tuned the model to produce answers that look more like those answers. And from there, we used this panel of clinicians and their judgments to kind of evaluate whether these models were performing better across a set of human values, including things like low likelihood of medical harm, alignment with scientific consensus, precision, and a lack of bias. One limitation of existing work was that there was no standard way to evaluate a large language model tuned for the medical domain. So we introduced Multi-Med QA, which is a benchmark for large language models in the medical domain, which spans consumer research questions, medical exam questions, and also consumer medical questions. To better encode a set of ethical principles into the MedPOM2 model, what we've done is a bunch of adversarial testing so that we can take the model, test it in scenarios that it might not have been kind of originally intended for, and make sure that its outputs are aligned with our values.
We are opening up access to these models through Google Cloud, and we hope to gather feedback from our partners and use that to further improve and refine the models. There's also the notion of capabilities that we need to further add to these models. One aspect that we are very excited about is multimodal, where a model is not only able to understand text, but also interpret your medical record, or understand and interpret your medical images, such as your CT scans, or maybe even genomics data or protein sequence data. So I think the potential is immense, and as long as we do this safely and responsibly, but also boldly, I think we are going to have a lot of impact in the world. There's still a lot of research to be done, but I am very optimistic that we can get there.
And so hopefully you enjoy this video. I would like to finish getting back to our CEO quote to close. So when we say helpful, we mean giving you the tools to increase your knowledge, success, health, and happiness. So hopefully we can take out the best of this new technology, being bold and responsible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I love the presentation. I really appreciate your time. And I'm going to show some questions here. I know some of these are a little bit too specific, and then so I'm going to answer those, but then the ones that apply to Google or whatever you can answer. So let me just show this one for now. This is Robert basically saying there's some reports coming out that the GPT-4 responses are getting dramatically worse over time as it's being used by public. What is Google doing? And if you can answer that, great. If you don't know, then we'll go to the next one. I'm just going to share them.
I will just say that I will not comment on our competition on this one. I think that you should ask to them. Yeah, but of course I think we are following a different approach. Okay, and like I said, and I would like to go back on that. I really think that is important that we address all of this with taking in consideration all the infrastructure and everything that we need to take in consideration if we want really to escalate this technology to go further. So that's one thing that Google is taking very seriously and have been working this for several years now. And maybe that can be something that differentiates us.
And I'm just going to add one thing that I've been reading the research papers on MedPOM2. One of the things I immediately notice is, I'm not going to talk about the competition, but other companies out there have used this large language model and are training it with humans. The difference that Google is MedPOM doing is they're using doctors that are specific to that domain, and they're using reinforced learning for that domain. And so the responses are coming from a doctor and combined with AI, and that alone is going to make the product better. And so based on research, and then that also applies to the next question. IBM also said, Watson Health, what's so different? I'm going to respond to this in the sentence, and then Martha, feel free to jump in. But the skinny is this. I feel Watson Health was a little bit ahead of its time. It didn't have the GPUs that we have today. It didn't have the bandwidth. And I think they were trying to bite too much in that particular vertical because oncology changes. There's so much research. There's so much things going on that it wasn't able to do as much as what they were promising. So that was my angle. And then I'll see the next one. And I can jump on this one because it's a little bit on the legal side, but I can say this. A question is, how is Google addressing doctors' liability concern over the event of incorrect diagnosis and example? I talk about this all the time. The skinny is this. If a doctor is using a Palm Pilot back in the day or an iPhone, ultimately the doctor is responsible for the tools he or she uses. Same thing goes with this technology. If I'm using MedPalm 2 and I say, oh, it told me X, at the end of the day, me with my medical degree, history, and my gestalt, I need to take that as a factor and say, yes, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Ultimately, the standard of care is not AI, it's a doctor. Moving forward, when this becomes the standard of care, then it will change.
Yeah, totally, Ari. Just complimenting on that. I think we should look to this technology as a complement to humans, right? Not like something that will replace humans. So I think doctors will, at the end, have the last word to say.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's gonna oh sorry, that's gonna I'm going through the questions real quick and posing them here in a sec. I think ultimately that's the answer. Ultimately the doctor's gonna make that decision. I totally think it's augmentation of what we have. We don't have enough doctors, nurses to help our population, so we need to augment with what we have and make us more efficient. And so I applaud those examples that you showed because it would be obviously make my life a lot easier and that I'd be more efficient. I think I'd provide better care. I'm going to jump on some other examples. This one, it's really a more of a question comment, but it says, can you give us 2 examples of how AI is being used in clinical medicine? I would highly encourage you to look at the MedPalm 2 study, and it goes through how they're using it. I know it's not public as far as I know, so there's really anything that's only being shared by what's out on the paper.
Yeah, I can give like some examples. So it can, for example, help as we mentioned more on the admin stuff. So reducing paperwork, for example, on visit note taking, prepare case summaries, treatment plans, helping on error detection, or summarizing patient and clinical insights. Suggesting some personalized treatment plans. I don't know. There's so many examples that we could give.
I agree. I'm just going through all the questions here. I'll put up the next one. This is more common. How is it being utilized in small hospital and clinics? Obviously, that's going to be the future. How is Google addressing potential biases in AI algorithms? I'm just going to say, as a general statement, at all the large language models, this is always going to be an issue, and this is where we need what's called federated learning. But the skinny is every country, every region is going to have that data or the represented into the model, so that way it adjusts for those biases. So obviously something that I'm here in the United States, things that happen here in the US will not apply in Portugal and vice versa. So we need to include that in our algorithms. And I think that is coming. The next question, I'm sure everybody's asking the same thing. Is MedPalm 2 available now for commercial use, including me? Right before we started, I asked Martha, hey, can you hook me up? So what's going on with this? When is it coming out? Do we know or not? We don't know yet.
No, as I share now, it's it is not yet at that stage. But I think this kind of technology is moving so fast that I really hope that we can all benefit from it as soon as possible.
Right, and I'm speeding through these questions so I can answer as many. I'll answer this one. Does MedPalm have a FDA approval as a tool? Unfortunately, this hasn't gone through the FDA yet. This is all, as far as I know, going through just proof of example, and different hospital systems are using it as an experiment and going. But the answer to the skinny is this: the minute that any of these tools affect the decision process of a doctor, at that point, FDA will argue that it needs FDA approval. And to get to that point, it's going to need studies, and it's going to have to unveil the black box, how it's creating these answers. So eventually, I do see that now. With that said, there are certain parts of this that do not require FDA approval. For example, if it's just for Q&As, or if it's just for a description of a website on diabetes, in theory, that can be used from MedPalm 2. I can look at it as a doctor and then put it on the website and approve it. And then that process can happen. So yes, good question. Another one, what an interesting information. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's see if I can answer one or two more. And I'm reading and trying to figure out. Let's see. I just randomly say, Google, do you have a demo scheduled for today? We wish we had something, but keep an eye out. I have it under Google Alerts, so I can see if anything comes out. I want to be the first
I'll the
to know
link
as
to
well.
Harvey. We'll let you know.
Very good. With MedPalm 2 and other healthcare-focused models, why would anyone use ChatGPT? Not commenting on the
I like this
competition,
one.
but the big picture is, yeah, I mean, I'm particularly biased after I read the study from MedPalm 2 and I saw what they're doing. I'm really stoked. And there's another product called Genesis from Google that I'm very stoked. So I do see us looking at ChatGPT as the first iPhone equivalent one day, saying, "Wow, one day we were happy with this, but now look how much we've added." Another
I
one.
think,
Let's
yeah,
see.
all the hype that we are seeing, right? I think it's really good that we are seeing it. So now we'll have a very exciting future ahead.
Exactly. And this will be the last one. How can AI health tech startups add value? Big picture, our big companies out there are sharing their APIs. Yesterday, again, I hate talking about the competition, but Llama 2 came out and that's going to be used. Obviously, it's a smaller large language model, so it won't be able to do as much, obviously, as what Google and Gemini can do, but it can do certain things. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Harry, let me just head on this one.
Yeah.
So Google has a startup program, so very important, and we are now supporting startups that want to add value on this space, on AI. We are really supporting with a specific program on this one, where we give credits for them to use in Google. So please get in touch, and we'll be very welcome to support you.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you, Sofia. Thank you. I know you're so crazy busy, and I know we scheduled this a couple of months ago, so I appreciate it. Hopefully you can come back again. Maybe when all this gets released, we'll have you on and kind of show us the lay of the land. So
Thank
thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you all for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I'm going to be cognizant of your time. Big picture, we have another event on ethics coming out next month. It's already on LinkedIn. Just sign up for it. I am personally doing a healthcare course that will be out next month as well. So I'll be announcing that shortly. So again, thank you so much. Share this link with everybody. We're also on YouTube Live, so feel free to go on my channel and share that. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. And this was fun. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a month.